Disclaimer. This documentary discusses the real-world death of a child and the systemic failures that allowed it to happen. It contains references to neglect and abuse, but no graphic descriptions. The purpose of this report is awareness and education. Viewer discretion is advised. In October 2025, residents of New Britain, Connecticut learned of a discovery that would shake confidence in the state's entire child protection network. Police investigating a tip found the remains of 12-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres-García inside a plastic storage container in her mother's home. The discovery revealed that the girl had been dead for nearly a year, yet the state's Department of Children and Families, DCF, believed she was alive only months earlier after completing a virtual welfare check. The story made national headlines. It wasn't only the cruelty of the crime that stunned the public, but the chilling question it raised. How could a monitored child disappear inside the system meant to protect her? Jacqueline lived with her mother, Jessica Torres, and several siblings in a small apartment complex in New Britain. Teachers at her public school described her as shy but polite, someone who rarely caused trouble and seemed to enjoy art projects and reading. In late 2023, Jessica withdrew her daughter from school, notifying staff that she would homeschool her. That single administrative decision effectively removed Jacqueline from daily contact with adults outside her family. Records later showed that DCF had previous involvement with the household because of neglect complaints. Workers visited, offered services, and kept the case open intermittently, but nothing suggested an immediate danger that warranted emergency removal. When the homeschooling began, contact between the family and outsiders almost vanished. Neighbors noticed curtains drawn day and night, children seldom outside, and a general air of secrecy around the apartment. Still, without direct evidence of harm, officials have no legal cause to force entry or inspection. The most haunting element of the case came to light after the arrest. In early 2025, DCF scheduled a virtual meeting with Jessica Torres to check on Jacqueline's well-being. Because of lingering post-pandemic procedures, video calls were still permitted instead of home visits. During that meeting, a girl appeared on screen next to Jessica. She answered to Jacqueline's name and stayed mostly silent while her mother spoke for her. The workers' notes from that day list child present and no immediate risk. The file was closed shortly after. Police now allege that the girl on camera was not Jacqueline, but another child coached to impersonate her. By then, investigators believe Jacqueline had already died. On October 10, 2025, police were dispatched to the Torres residence following a welfare concern raised by a relative. Officers reported a strong odor inside the home. They located a large plastic container hidden in a closet. Inside were human remains, later identified through DNA testing as Jacqueline Torres-García. Jessica Torres was taken into custody and charged with murder, cruelty to persons, and tampering with evidence. According to arrest affidavits summarized by local media, forensic analysis indicated long-term neglect and signs of malnutrition. The case is still pending trial. The accused has pleaded not guilty. Within days, state officials faced intense scrutiny. Commissioner Vanessa Durantis of the Department of Children and Families confirmed that the agency had contact with the family in the months before Jacqueline's death. DCF records showed that the department had relied on a video wellness check in which the mother presented another child as Jacqueline. The agency later admitted that staff did not verify the child's identity through in-person visitation, a policy gap now under review. Child welfare experts interviewed by the CT Mirror and NBC Connecticut called the situation a textbook example of systemic weakness. Virtual checks can only confirm that someone appears on screen, not that the child shown is the correct one or is safe. Homeschooling exemptions remove children from teachers' daily observation, eliminating a major early warning channel. High caseloads and pandemic-era backlogs lead caseworkers to accept remote assessments rather than insist on physical visits. Attorney Sarah Egan, a former child advocate in Connecticut, told reporters that the tragedy underscored the importance of in-person contact. Seeing a child in their actual environment is irreplaceable. Technology should never substitute for that. New Britain residents gathered for candlelight vigils near the family street. Posters with the girl's nickname, Mimi, lined fences. Community leaders called for mandatory visual confirmation of every child involved in a DCF case at least once a quarter. Local churches held prayer services emphasizing vigilance. If you suspect the child is suffering, call again, even if the system seems tired of hearing it. Teachers' unions joined the outcry, asking legislators to tighten rules around homeschooling notifications so that school districts are alerted whenever a DCF-monitored student is withdrawn. In the weeks following the discovery, Connecticut legislators introduced a review bill proposing that all DCF wellness checks for children previously identified at risk must include an in-person visit. Families who elect to homeschool while under investigation must register for quarterly inspections. And video calls can supplement but not replace physical observation. The department also began retraining staff on identity verification protocols and interagency communication with schools and police departments. While these measures can't undo what happened to Jacqueline, advocates say they may prevent similar disappearances in the future. Child protection failures are rarely caused by one mistake. They grow out of cumulative neglect. Each missed visit, each unreturned call, each form checked, no immediate risk. Jacqueline's case, like others before it, reveals how easily a vulnerable child can slip out of public sight when bureaucracy favors convenience over caution. Her story now appears in professional seminars and social work classrooms as a modern cautionary tale. Instructors emphasize that each policy shortcut is a potential human life lost. Jacqueline, Mimi Torres-García, should have been 13 this year. Her death forced an entire state to confront uncomfortable truths about its safety net. Technology made it easier to check boxes, but it also made it easier for abuse to hide. Her name now serves as a reminder that child protection requires real presence, eyes, ears, and empathy that no video feed can replace. For the people of New Britain, the story is no longer just about one family. It's about a promise to ensure that no other child becomes invisible again. This is not just a story about one tragedy. It's a story about the dangerous cracks in a system built to protect children, and how technology, convenience, and bureaucracy combined to hide the suffering of a little girl in plain sight. For more real stories that reveal the truth behind the headlines, follow and subscribe to Archived Truth.